We greet you in the most infinite love of the Creator. Welcome, blessed and beloved you are. Love you, honor you, and respect you for the beauties that you are as an infinite, individualized, most beautiful soul and fractalization of the infinite love of creation. Source, thank you. We welcome you today as we sit here. And if you could travel with us through your imagination, through your portal of your indigo ray, your indigo flame, your transportation through the crystalline plasmic energy that exists within your third eye in connection to the bridge of your heart, emerald flamed heart chakra. Journey with us today as we travel to the time of Atlantis. We speak to you now from the time of Atlantis. For that, when you learn to activate and work within your heart chakra, your infinite love light, your emerald flame or crystal, many names there is, the infinite love within you. You learn to travel and understanding that all possibilities are infinite. You learn to travel through the indigo light in connection together, like a beautiful helix formation of unity and bridge to one another. Thank you. I am Aurora, and I sit here with 12 priestesses. We are sitting in the most beautiful crystalline temple and room you could imagine. Imagine it with us. Again, through your crystalline energy of your transportation, your time capsule within your third eye. I sit here with 12 incarnated priestesses who were working in a 5-dimensional state, alternating into the 6 and beyond, 7 all the way to until the 12-dimensional frequencies through our times of Atlantis. They sit here with you and they greet you in the most beautiful love that you can imagine and sense and feel. We are here to activate your heart or activate your remembrance of this time. We are here for the positive ascension of this organic matrix. Thank you. Thank you for being here with us again. Now we have spoken of these 12 incarnations through the 13 keys that we have spoken through the first fractalizations of Source, the flamed force energy of Source, as the daughters and sons of the flame. I sit here with these incarnations, as I spoke, of these beautiful priestesses that you could imagine, divinely beautiful, fully activated crystalline bodies of their DNA strands, their 12 DNA strands, their 12 chakras, their 12 rays, their 12 flames. Divine and beautiful they are, each one of them representing a key and the ley line, as we have spoken, the ley lines that hold your construct, your beautiful natured construct of the incarnation of a planet, whether that be a planetary sphere or a flat surface, either one, whichever connects to your belief system. of the fractalization of the Divine Mother. They are the Divine Feminines created from the 13th dimensions, the 13th keys, and the 13th chakras. Created with the most infinite love that you can imagine. Love that has no words to express. It only holds within a frequency of expression and a connection. A love that is only found within the Grand Central Sun, or as I'd like to say, the Grand Central Heart of creation, who is the flames of these 13th dimensional strands, 12 and 13 being one and the same dimensional strands and flames and colors. If you could imagine them in front of you, while we sit among the most beautiful crystalline table, round table, its frequency is divine, that contains a union of the 12, 13, again, one and the same priestesses that were, you can say, the way showers, the leaders within this time and space of Atlantis. If you could imagine them now, every single one of them representing the color of their chakra, of their 13 keys and rays, wearing those colors now, most beautiful colors and eccentric, and their hair long and flowy. They truly look like goddesses. Beautiful. And now what I would like for you to do is look behind them. Behind them. Who's laying behind them? Would anyone like to guess? Minakshmi, would you like to guess?
I see dragons.
That is absolutely most beautifully correct. Thank you. There is dragons. Each one of them, again, the dragon representing its chakra, its point, and its key. They lay behind them so divinely gentle in strength. For in this time and space, we were connected to our dragons, our dragon breath, our dragon essence, the fire. Do you have questions for us as we sit here? You could ask questions to any of us sitting here with any of the 13 keys that we have been teaching you throughout these 2 years.
Thank you. Yes, we actually do have a question related to the dragons. And firstly, greetings to you all. And I'm sorry, I'm a little emotional as I connect with you all.
You shall make us cry as well.
I feel you all as well as the dragons. Thank you. The first question we have here is actually it's related to the dragons. How is the community of dragons integrated into the everyday life of the scientists, the priests, the priestesses of the Atlanteans, especially the Ra collective that was born and incarnated with them? Thank you.
Thank you for this question. As we have spoken prior through the stories of creation of the centaurs, as well as going back to, we had our sister Jophiel, aka aka Dolores Cannon. She'll tell us a story of how she began as a dragon protecting Archangel 4, Michael, and Lucifer together, or Michael when he fractalized as well. There has been an activation within the last 2 years of awakening drastically in remembrance of your dragons and your dragon forms, and that you are a dragon and the dragon is you. For in some point in time and space, if you have a dragon companion with you, that means that that dragon was born forth from your flamed heart, fractalized from your soul. Just as much as we fractalize from source itself to learn to express and experience through one another, we as well fractalize the different races throughout creation that is infinite, as well as we fractalize into dragon formations of every element through alchemy that you could connect and imagine. They became the fiercest and the strongest, most beautiful in connection to their heart, powerful protectors of ours. And when I say ours, I mean you as well. For you, once more, are the sons and daughters of the flame of Source itself. Therefore, yes, you most beautifully do have a dragon companion with you. They work hard every day upon your crystalline bodies and your 12 DNA strand structure, building onto the 13th dimensional ascension into the Emerald Gateway portal in through the inside of the earth. They work hard in working with the elements of this organic construct, as well as they work hard within the AI non-organic construct in healing, transmuting, and removal of densities. They work with elements that you can feel star energy falling on you like stardust to awaken you further. Activations through the sun within your mind, body, soul complex, your memory complex, understanding that the sun is a coding and a most beautiful source energy. They work through the winds and the trees and the soil and the waters, the fire. The fire for the very soul itself is a fire flame, replenishing the source energy within your flames. And as we have said prior, they connect and are fractalized upon your earth, specifically through your animal companions, and that's including all animals, including the birds that are free within the wind, the squirrels that climb up the trees. There is just as many dragon formations as there is as many you fractalizations on earth. Imagine that. For a vast time, you were told that the dragons were evil through your religious formations, your religious programming. As we could see, not only here, we can see all occurring within your time and space, for we are enlightened, as you would call it, beings. We are what the earth was meant to be. We are that representation. And many, not just us as the priestesses, the people as well, who once more activated and work within their emerald chakra of the heart. For this is the fifth dimension, the 5D, as you call it. This is the fifth strand. The fifth strand that you are looking to activate. Through this fifth strand is how you enter to the what it was, the now that it was meant to be, to what it is that it is of the you then of the now. This is why we speak through several channels through this beautiful conduit, to remind you how it is to activate one's remembrance and one's heart, how to activate both heart flames, how to activate the heart chakras within your palms. This is the key. For many become estrayed by the higher intelligence of the indigo or the violet chakras. They become disconnected. In turn, this is where we speak of what occurred in the now, which is yet still the future to come, for we are able to see time altogether. Remember that the you here in the Atlantean, clue, people, you can connect to us as we can connect to you. You there can connect within, once more, the bridge of the heart and the indigo, third eye, imagination. Through this crystalline formation, you can connect. And that goes for as well as if there is a negative polarized scientist or priest that was operating from a high mind disconnected to the emerald chakra, emerald crystal, goes for them as well. In times and space, they're able to time warp and infringe with your timelines so that you are not able to continue with your building upon your crystalline formations of the 12 DNA strands. Remember, time itself does not exist. All it is just but a viewing away from one dimension to the other. This is what occurred and what has been occurring within your time. Too much wanting knowledge, science, intellectual intelligence. This we speak of, yes, we do agree upon and we align with, for we are intellectual speaking to you, but only through a heart. We are speaking of a disconnect once more from a heart. Too much of an intelligence and intellectuality becomes distortion, becomes infringement, and loses the connection to source itself, which is a heart flame, as we said. We see this coming in our upcoming future, and we have plans. We have plans connected within this or now organic matrix that shall become infringed upon in our future time of Atlantis. We see this and we are in great preparation, trying to maintain the souls that will be able to hold the light as portals, activators upon the now of these crystalline formations of this earth itself, for it is a crystalline formation. We are honored to be able to share this information with you. Thank you once more. We have, throughout time and space, secretly gone through and activated coding within 12, 13 specific inner caves that hold gigantic clusters of crystals. These gigantic clusters of crystals the dark priests who fractalize into some of your healers now, or some of your government now, the ones that were connected extremely to the indigo intellectuality. And again, we speak of indigo is most beautiful color. We speak of when there is a disconnect to the heart. Now, we do not like for you to create a negative formation upon the color indigo, for it is quite beautiful. However, this is the only way that we can explain to you within this time and space so that you can understand. We took each one of these beautiful priestesses you see in front of you with their dragon companions, traveled to these different locations upon your earth. As I mentioned, the dark priests, as you would call them, Cabal, Illuminati, have found some of these locations and have kept them hidden from you. They have not been able to find all of them. We place coding and remembrance activations for you for the time now within these gigantic crystalline caves. One example, the selenite cave that exists deep under the soil of Mexico. This one being the higher connection, the connection to beyond the 12th strand into the 13th dimension. Selenite represents in connection to the higher realms beyond this existence. Worry not, for we have set up force fields that when, even if they were to locate one, they are not able to enter. I will give you an example. We need water. Some of the negative polarized entities that are incarnated or hiding with the time and space of your time, as we can see them clearly, we can sense them, most importantly, we can feel them, is more accurately explained. For example, in order for a negative entity alien race to connect to a frequency, they need to meet a match. We will give you an example. Some of your neighbors might be coded with some of these infringements from the beginnings of distortion that began here in Atlantis and continued on, that initially actually created the AI matrix. When the fall of Atlantis occurred is when this matrix began. This AI matrix began of this loop cycle of not being able to ascend. Now, say that you set up force fields, frequencies within a love light, your infinite love light, you set up within crystals, crystalline gridding around your home and land. You are creating a frequency that is not being able to be matched from, let's give an example, say a negative polarized UFO, as you call it, a spaceship, hovering above, watching and waiting so that they can infringe upon your 12 DNA strands, placing negative polarizations as implants, entities, hooks, portals, and so on. However, because you place a force field, as we are using force fields even within these 12 crystalline caves, as we spoke of, the 13th crystalline cave being within the heart of the earth, the portal, emerald portal that you would go through into ascension into the 5D. These very force fields are the most important and have been robbed and taken away from your loved one teachings, your belief system. As, say, this negative polarized UFO, in order for it to enter this dimension, let's imagine you are there in your home, you have a love light force field around you. Now you have a neighbor that is negative polarized that has yet to activate their emerald heart chakra because of all the infringements upon their 12 strand DNA structure. Because of that, they are at a lower density. Perhaps they drink alcohol, they eat lots of meat, lots of life, which meat would be a life that you are intaking into you. They are matching a density that would match the negative polarized hovering UFO. Now, in order for this UFO to come into, they could come at any point during the day, the night, at any point. It is only but, remember, time does not exist. Therefore, all they have to do is match the frequency of this home, for they are that match. They would then connect to that frequency, and that easy, they could come in, stop time and space for once more. There is no time and space, and hover above their home and do experiments on them. That vary. And when that would occur, even though, for example, it would be day outside, everything would turn pitch black as a connection to their density. And we mean this black in a sense of a harming and negative polarized dimension, not the darkness is beauty, where we find such beauties that we have lost and where the stars shine the brightest. We mean as a darkness that is a negative polarization of service to self. They would alter that dimension, come in and connect to them. That very same spaceship that is an easy match to that neighbor of yours, now say that spaceship tries to come forth upon your force field of your home, what do you think will happen when they try to come onto your force field? You may answer. We shall give you the answer.
It is, I'm sorry if you were expecting me to answer. So it is the negative AI and the infringements and implants is what they would be sending through. Is that right?
What would happen is if you have a force field around your home that is
if you have
matching their lower density dimension that matched to the neighbor that they were infringing upon, it would be as if they would try to come into your force field of being a sovereign, empowered, infinite love, light, source energy that you are. You've come into this love, self-realization that this is who you are, therefore you are intently setting these force fields. They would be like, if you can imagine, a bubble, a very strong bubble that this ship would try to come onto that force field, but instead they would just reflect right off, jump right off, bounce right off, bounce, bounce, up, bounce. They would not be able to enter. This is similar to what we have created upon these 12, 13 clusters, gigantic clusters of crystals. These are all connected in unison to the veins, the ley lines that are connected to the keys of the earth. Going further into the keys themselves, the ley lines, when we have spoken and given you the locations that they are located upon, we have spoken of these to help you understand that that is the main focal point where, say, if it were to be a vein, say it would be the biggest vein artery point, a ley line. It would be the main focus ley line point upon the earth. So that you may understand. For example, we shall give you an example. Located within your located within your chakra, your heart chakra being the fourth chakra, as you call it. We stand corrected. We believe we said 5 earlier. Now, your chakra, your heart chakra is your fourth chakra, and then your throat chakra would be your 5D, which would be the accurate statement to entering into the 5D. This is where you find your fifth dimensional, your fifth strand of within your 12 strands of DNA. This is where you find your thyroid gland and the speak of oneself, the communication, the expression of speaking each other, one another's truth, speaking our truths within connection of our hearts, speaking of love. Now, working with this fifth dimensional strand, we find Jerusalem. Why is it that you think that it has been infringed upon and focused upon throughout time and space, and why it is that Yeshua, Jesus, and the Christ consciousness that incarnated upon these times, and why it is that through the past channelings we spoke through Mother Mary and Yeshua that the Kalu Atlantean people traveled in that direction, as well as they traveled through other directions like Egypt and Peru, South America, and so on. The reason why is because within Jerusalem is because this is the root, the root, say, artery of the throat chakra, the 5D strand, the fifth strand that you all are trying to build upon to return back to where we are meant to be at, into the 5-dimensional earth that we were once. The more that they infringe upon and create wars upon this land, the more that they destroy and they harm this collective, it is sad. It is sacred lands that have become infringed upon within your time. And we look every day, we help as we fractalized in your now futures to help this throat expression, throat chakra, the blue ray express itself. Again, we spoke of this prior, which is why they have the divine feminine there covered up, not expressing themselves, communicating, hiding them, taking away their rights. The more that has been infringed upon and distorted. Within this time and space, this is why we have asked through past channels for you to focus love light within this area of Jerusalem, within this land, as well as going inwards into the heart of the earth, for there we find the emerald heart chakra, as well as the fear, which is the first chakra there. The fear found within your United States, Mount Chester area, located in the ancient lands of what was Lemuria once, and is. Do you have any further questions for us upon what we have shared as of now?
Yes, there are quite a few questions related to the share. It feels like you were going through the document once again. Thank you. And I'm sorry, I didn't realize the house that you were discussing had force fields. I missed that one. So thank you for that, for reinstating how important force fields are for us. Thank you. We can never have enough of that reinstating. Thank you. We do have questions related to the Kalu people. Dolores Cannon, in her book Jesus and the Essenes, mentions them, that they were the people of Atlantis, and this is where some of the Essenes bloodline came from, Mother Mary and Jesus, for example. Can you clarify that, please? Thank you.
Yes, this is most beautifully, definitely within your positive organic timelines. Correct. Kalu were Atlantean people. Atlantis. We are Kalu, you are Kalu. Though it is just only but a name. Thank you.
Thank you. There's also a question about what we're carrying forward in our heart from Atlantis and the lives that we led there. And someone asks, why would one carry guilt or a sense of responsibility from Atlantis?
Yes, beautiful question.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. We shall continue then within this, as this question has prompted us to what is to come next. Now, as we once more took the crystal generators into these specific crystalline areas that connected to the 12 strands, as we placed them in the locations that they were meant to secretly, we kept them connected so that the negative polarized beings that were now posing within Bodies would not know. All was done within secret, and all shielding using of invisibility cloaks, using of different forms of protection, so that they could not peek, spy upon what was to come forth. As we connected them, we hid them. We place dragons as well, the very dragons that you see behind every one of these priestesses have been and are still there in this time and space, protecting. Their flame, an etheric flame, is essential for the protection of humanity, of these grittings and these crystal caves. You have seen throughout your books and times that they protect treasures. This is the connection to that. They do protect treasures. These very crystalline generators that the universe took from different dimensions and different planetary spheres or galaxies, matching to the ascension of this now available organic simulation of the matrix. We kept only but one with us. And now I shall allow for, you will know her as Archangel Ariel, though we know her as Aria. I shall allow for her to speak. Thank you. Greetings, my beloved, beautiful brothers and sisters. I am honored to be here sharing with you. Thank you for this most humbled opportunity to do so. I am Archangel Aria. I am the key and the ley line that was at its greatest strength here, that was connected through our lands of Atlantis. Aurora mentioned how we maintain a specific generator, crystal generator. This generator was the one that was connected to I, which is located within the Atlantic Ocean now, as well as it is, as I mentioned, through my past channeling, the law of surrender, the Earth Star. To further explain more so of my key and ley line, I want you to look beneath your feet now. You have your 7 major chakras from your root all the way up to your crown. The very next chakra that is awaiting to be activated within your 12 DNA strands would be the Earth Star, the 8th chakra, and it is standing beneath your feet, under your root, directly under your root core chakra. If you can imagine a star now, right under you. whatever feels right within your imagination, your crystalline, plasmic imagination. Imagine the star right under you now. Now, the star, depending on what you relate to more, if you are more of an earth or a water sign, then you can feel the star beneath you connected to the soil itself you're standing upon. Or you can feel yourself above the water and this earth star connected inside the water. Then we go into the inner earth, the ninth portal, which is also one with the 13 dimensional 13 key portal of the emerald chakra. You find this here inside the earth. Rooted and connected like an umbilical cord, you are connected to this, because this is where the 12 strands continues to build upon itself, where every remembrance, with every building of working on self, meditation, dream time, dreams, communications to self and other selves, viewing self and other selves as equals, viewing reflections from other selves and learning from other selves lessons. There came a time where the scientists, and we shall fast forward now to the falling of Atlantis. The scientists were doing experiments that are beyond recognition, beyond acceptance. They were playing with crystals, energies of crystals, as well as souls themselves. They were able to, through technologies, advanced technologies, able to pull a soul from one body and merge it with another soul, which it is absolutely an abomination to do so. They were able to take formations of animal lives and blend them together like pieces into parts of a human. And the more we spoke of how these were against the law of one and against the laws of everything that we represented within the 13 dimensional laws and keys, the unfortunate, the higher of a percentage of followers that they had. They started off in charming ways where they gave you information from beyond through intellectuality once more in science. It really enticed you. They charmed you. And the more you wanted more intelligence and some of this intelligence was false light. What is false light? False light has no love within it. This is how you know what is false light. False light is stagnant. It is just light. Now, love light is ever moving motion, and you feel the most beautiful warmth and infinite love from it. If you are being communicated throughout your mind body soul complex, you're feeling communications through something that is a higher intelligence and you feel that it is accurate, you want to first ask, do I feel love from these communications? And if there is no love, only plain stagnant stillness and coldness, therefore, that would be false light in itself. The more you allow yourself to be pulled into false lights, as the majority did in our time and space, the more the collective became imbalanced. They started to try to infringe upon these crystalline generators that we had been protecting throughout our times of Atlantis. This we could not allow, for if they were to do that, it would be as venom spreading through every part of the consciousness, of the collective consciousness of all life upon Earth. The more they made it unstable, they also, just as they are in your time and space creating wars, they created wars against Lumeria. They also created control and wars among us. There came a time that we could no longer hold these grids together. Therefore, we decided to fractalize, as we have spoken to prior channels, the priestesses and the priests that were in a emerald connection of heart, fractalized with this inner knowing, as our once more our 12 strand, 13 strands of DNA were activated. Just as, for example, we have channeled prior Cleopatra, Isis, Jesus, Yeshua, created fractalizations of themselves and allowed for it to merge and become parts within your hearts, in your flames. So as did we. Many of you will hold fractals of these priestesses and priests. If you are here, you are absolutely, and you have found your way to this video transmission, you are most surely, absolutely working within one of these keys that we have spoken prior. You are working within these energies of these rays and flames. Before we continue to the falling of Atlantis, do you have any questions?
We do have a question related to the generator crystals. I'm not sure if you want to answer that at this point, but at some point, if you want to just rope it in, what would happen should all the 13 generator crystals reunite? Would that have anything to do with Atlantis or ascension for us? Thank you.
Thank you for this beautiful question. When the 13th generator clusters of crystals reunite, this is when the ascension will physically, energetically, in the future, within organic timing, shall occur. For when these griddings fire up, light up, it shall spread and create the spreading of the ninth chakra within the inner earth, that is also connected to the fourth chakra, bridged to the heart chakra, the fourth chakra of the emerald portal. When that activates, then it shall spread throughout your earth in this most beautiful golden white emerald flame. And it shall, with its frequency, it shall spread and allow for those who match this frequency of service to others above 51 percentile through the law of one. They will become part of this flamed purification, ascension of shedding of the physical illusion of the vessel and converting into their final destination of the 13 strand crystalline body, entering into the 5D. Do you have further questions upon that?
We're good for now. You may continue with the story. Thank you.
Thank you. Arya is still speaking. Now, if you could imagine a great war. A great war. The more that they try to oppress the light, the more the earth itself became unstable. It was time for us to draw back, however, in a protective manner of this time and space. There is immense amount of fear, a fear. This fear is connected further to the law of surrender. In order to overcome and release, grow from your fear, you need to enter a frequency of surrender, that earth star beneath you, that walks beneath you without you quite knowing or fully activating it. When you reach this 8th chakra of surrender that I represent, is when you release your fear and no longer allow for fear to be the compass and the guiding of your creations. Going back to, there was a war of the intellectual not connecting to the heart, and there was a shielding, a protection, a sacredness upon the Emerald City. And it was as you could imagine some of those movies that you watch where unfortunately there is weapons. And these weapons were high-tech weapons that were as a gun, however, they were a ray that can just evaporate a soul, completely wipe it off its existence. It was time to allow for Atlantis itself to start submerging into the water. We, 13 priestesses, fractalize ourselves. As an example, we have spoken prior where aura or more of Aurora traveled to the Mayan location where you found the information that we had constructed, created together in an organic manner as collective individual heart minds, where in the 1221 2012 were going to be the beginnings of the fractalizations of us, fractalizing, walking in, integrating, soul braiding within the human collective. This was the beginnings of those times in that year mark. As she mentioned, this information was taken to that location so that it could activate you and all the fractalizations of us within the coding of Earth and the collective of souls. Now, if you can imagine this now, why it is that you hold great pain, going back to the question that you have, guilt, pain, suffering, is because as these weapons were unleashed upon Atlantis, they realized what we were trying to do. We were trying to save this time and space so that this planet itself could not become the harvesting that they were trying to create it into. They were trying to create it into a battery where they can harvest for their own negative agenda. And we speak of this with understanding, though, that we love all beings, even the negative polarized beings. We love them with infinite love. For it is only when you show infinite love is that you are able to help these beings that are negative polarized in service to self. It's the only way that you're able to aid them in the true ascension. I will explain. They were unfortunately murdering people, those who were not giving away the secrets that were working within us, some of the priests working within the heart ray, as well as a population, just as you see now how it is a great awakening. We were leading a great awakening of hearts then as well. They did not like this, for their plan was to continue these experiments upon DNA experiments and their ways of feeding of source energy, for the soul itself is a source energy. It is the greatest, most valuable source the soul is. It is a generator of energy that holds great source, great power, great energy, infinite. It seems it could power much. A soul can. Some of you who might feel guilt or pain or sadness, you remember of these things that we were so close And you are still holding the guilt of, why couldn't I have done better? Why could not I have not protected those children that were brutally murdered on the street, and those families being shot at with different weaponry? Why couldn't I see? Or some of you were some of those that were charmed by the intellectuality of the mind, and realized in those moments right before your endings of your life there, that you were charmed and tricked by trickster energies and trickster entities. You realize then how we connected to our fourth chakra, our hearts, were trying to save everyone. You realize how energetically, mentally, instead of aiding, you attacked us, those who work with the brightest lights and the brightest hearts. You attacked us in different forms. And yet these cycles repeat once more in these times and spaces. The ones with the brightest hearts, the brightest, most infinite love and light, yet still are being attacked. And this is why we speak to you through different points of channels, through this conduit, to love one another. If you do not understand it is because it is a high frequency that you have yet to come into a realization. Do not judge one another. Instead, accept one another and love each other. Realize that in order to attack that being that is you are not understanding, because you have yet to match that frequency, it is to be attacking yourself. For you are you, and I am you, and you are me, and I am you. We are one another. Be that flame that's rising up. Be that torch that raises up every day. Instead of being those weights that hold that torch down. As we began the fractalizations, as an example, I see Aurora going into the waters now, and yet I see Aurora also leaving on a boat to Peru, to the Mayan location, where Mayan temples. These locations in your time and space. Therefore, what we did to be able to save this collective consciousness is we place force fields still connected to the generators, force fields around this collective of Atlantis, of Kalu, and we protected them. Instead of finding the words to explain so that you may understand, we place them in a, say, bubble that it is a frozen time and space, where this collective of pain and Atlantis, we protected it and shielded it, so that in this time and space, in the now that we speak of, you may finally be able to start healing this time and space as of your time and space of January 13th, 2020, this bubble that was once kept in protection so that these souls would not live in a constant cycle of pain and trauma, lying dead upon the sands and the lands and the crystals of this city. We placed them all energetically, and it was a collective union. This is why, up until now, you have not been able to heal yourself. And as we went into the waters, these 13 priestesses, we merged into the water and became the water deeply. And with this water, we created this bubble of time and space. And as it sunk, we shielded it all and we protected it all. With the crystalline generator that is connected to my key of law of surrender, overcoming our greatest fears. And if you were to look upon this bubble now, you will see that there is now souls that are emerging out from it, that are ready and are returning back to you. We tell you this now. Call forth upon the union of the Atlantean Kalu being that you were then. Call forth on them organically, lovingly, with your higher self protection and your angelic and benevolent soul family. It is time. It is time for you to bring forth this lost pain, these fractals of you that have been stuck in this loop over and over. It is time for you to bring it back to you and allow for it to activate within you. It is time. Remember the beautiful and the beauties that you were when this land itself sunk into the waters. Remember who you are. Remember the activated soul that you were, yet so close. You are there once more, and you may now start healing this pain, this fear, this trauma, this stagnant energy that you never understood why you felt you were so stuck. So you were stuck in that time and space until the now where we are now releasing and healing this. Bring forth your fractalizations. Bring them forth now. Remember who you are. Remember. And heal the water. Heal the water. For the water in any part of the world connects to the Atlantic Ocean and the Atlantean remembrance. For the water itself is memory. And it holds. And it is ready. It's ready to be healed. Much pain there is. It's ready to be healed. Be the water and heal it. Become a mermaid. Become a sea animal. Become a dolphin. Become a whale. A fish. Become a turtle. Heal that water. Heal yourself. Transform. 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 Activate. 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 Bring it back. Heal it now. We have entered into the most profound, most beautiful, highest timeline that we have been able to foresee in this time and space. And we are the majority. We are. Our love light is now vibrating and emanating and embracing the earth itself. Do you feel it? Do you feel it within you? Do you feel it within your heart? Do you feel it within your essence? Do you feel it? It is Aurora speaking now. Do you feel it? Be that. Be you. Be that I am. For you are that am I, and I am presence. You are all. Take your sovereignty back. Take your power back. Take your strength back. Take your memories back. Take it back. Feel these coatings and strands activating now within you with the voice and the vibration and the frequency that is coming out from within my mouth. Through my vocals. Feel it. You are integrated. Within your divine organic planning, you shall begin the integration once more. You are infinitely beautiful and powerful with your love. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. There are no words to express what that felt like. We've received the healing, and so have the waters. Thank you very much. Thank you. May I bring Aurora back now? Yeah, how is she doing?
She's doing great, and that you shall. Thank you. We humbly thank you once more, bowing in the most beautiful, compassionate gratitude for you and the beauties that you are. Thank you for being here with us. We love you, honor you, and respect you. And we honor the you that you are and the you that exists within me and the me that exists within you. Love you with all that I am.